Four words to describe this thriller: brace yourself for the truth. Based on real historical events, it's truly a tale of women's rights struggles. Happy New Year! Freshly birthday Ed, number 3 here. Today's story starts in 1971 Mexico City. Ready? On a rainy midnight, a lady hopped into 2 red and white cars and took off to a small hotel. A few hours later, the hotel maid found a door wide open and curiously stepped inside, only to discover it was the 4th victim. Unbelievable. The media dubbed the killer the stripper slayer, sending the women of the city into a frenzy of fear, not even daring to step outside. The First Lady seized the moment and suggested forming a women's police force, shifting the media spotlight. This news skyrocketed to the headlines. Back in those days, women were expected to play housewife, taking care of the husbands and kids. Mary was no different. Today is Uncle Des' birthday, and Mary rushed to his office to surprise him. But little did she know, he had a surprise of his own. Mary felt like she'd been hit by lightning. Her husband was possibly cheating. She wanted to confront him, but worried about the kids losing. Ultimately, she hid in a closet for 3 hours, waiting for her husband to leave before cautiously slipping out of the office. An hour later, Mary finally regained her composure and rushed to the restaurant where her husband was attending a gathering, only to discover that everything she had experienced before was merely a product of her own imagination. Even with 10 lives, Mary wouldn't dare that, but the others were talking about the First Lady's women's police. The men thought it was a joke, saying women being cops was as ridiculous as men cooking. Uncle De casually mentioned that Mary had loved detective novels since childhood, dreaming of being a great detective. This stirred up quite a reaction. In stark contrast to Mary's kindness, her sister Nana was a rebel at 24, still single and always stirring up trouble on the streets. After getting arrested during a protest, she called her ex, Coca, hoping for bail, but surprise, he had a new girlfriend. She urged Nana to move on, so Nana called Sister Mary. After they left the police station, they hit up a bar where Nana planned to join the police force. She wanted to impress the dismissive Coca, but Mary's mood was shot. She revealed her husband's infidelity. Nana slammed the table, refusing to accept it, and thought she should confront Uncle Da. But Mary was scared. She still loved him dearly. Mary, what a dreamer. What life could you envision? Just then, outside the strip joint, the president's secretary found the bouncer, Aldro. This curly-haired man had served at the police for 18 years, personally locking up 132 criminals. Recently, he was dismissed for hitting the deputy chief, and the secretary needed a strict trainer for the Women's Police Initiative. But no men in the precinct were willing to take the job. So she promised Aldro that if he accepted, he could rejoin the squad tomorrow. Uncle De packed for a business trip, and Mary knew he was off to see his mistress. Instead of calling him out, she tried to hold him back in every way possible. But Uncle De persisted in leaving, which infuriated Mary. In a fit of rage, she signed up for the female police selection, and Aldro took on the role of trainer. Facing this fearless group of girls, Aldro's first words were "Summer Mary." Being a cop in Mexico is no different from dealing drugs in the East. Our crime rate is leading. There's still time to run. Just like that, his words scared off some timid girls, and when the dust settled, Aldro whistled. The remaining crew would start training tomorrow, and Mary walked into the dorm with her suitcase. Her roommate was a socially awkward bespectacled girl, Lace, who bizarrely joined the training because her gas stove was broken. She had no income, hence came here. Nana's roommate was a curly-haired girl who also sneaked away to join the training. Little Guy was born into a family of cops. Her dad was the chief, and 3 brothers all worked at the station. She wanted to join the fun. But female law enforcement? Unheard of, especially her dad, an old dinosaur. If he knew she signed up, she might get shot. But Little Guy still showed up. At dawn, the intensive training kicked off. It was a 3-month boot camp, with trainees needing to pass various tests, and many getting cut along the way. Just as everyone was grinding through, the stripper slayer struck again, marking the 5th victim, and the killer left no trace at all. Uncle De heard the news and rushed home, blissfully unaware that his wife had already bolted. On the training ground, Little Guy was yanked up by her older brother, who was the current detective team lead investigating the stripper slayer case. He kindly warned her, "If Dad finds out, you might not get through the front door." But Little Guy was resolute and said, "I'm going to be a cop. Every family has its challenges." Mary got a call from Mom, who was there to play peacemaker. Mom asked Uncle Dan, said it was just regular schmoozing, nothing serious. Men will be men. Sometimes, guys need a little excitement, as long as they are bringing in the cash. They won't pick a fight out of nowhere. Isn't that just great? Mary hung up in anger, thinking, "You're not worried at all." Mary faced her final exam, skydiving. As comrades jumped out one after another, Mary sat like a statue in her seat, frozen.